Hey, welcome to Mad Dog's After Show. You're along for the ride with the Mad Dog and Cole, the mini Mad Dog, Farrell.
Black flags are merely a suggestion.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait.
Man, what a way to start off. I mean, those inspiring words from the incredible Mr. Evil Knievel, living in the sunlight, flying through the air, enjoying life. Dude, like we all need to, well, right now I could probably live a little less in the sunlight, but we all need to take time to enjoy life for sure.
Absolutely. And as we're on the tail end of 4th of July weekend, blaringly obvious, but we would not be here in this country with our freedoms and our safety if it wasn't for the men and women of our military, of our armed forces, and of course our first responders. Those guys, especially here in SoCal, were just nonstop all weekend. Could not be more grateful for their dedication to humanitarianism, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And great respect for the families that gave all the families of the KIA, POWs, MIAs. Thank you so much. Huge respect. And, extra big shout out to those first responders and especially the fire crews. They have been busy. And
Yeah.
I have a good friend up in Oregon that has been on a hotshot team for a long time. He's currently laid up, had a little accident, broke a leg,
Oof.
but man, those guys put it on the line in fire season, dude. They're like it's it's hella dangerous,
Oh yeah.
and I am so grateful for them. So special shout out to our fire groups all around the country. Thank you for all you're doing for us. We appreciate it. While we're saying a great appreciations, we want to be sure and appreciate our partners and sponsors, Kicker Performance Audio. Find them online, kicker.com, on Instagram at Kicker Audio, on Facebook, Kicker, and every other Tuesday night live on their YouTube channel at Kicker Unmasked Live. And they also broadcast live on their Facebook. All your 12-volt needs or personal audio needs, hit them up. Of course, Bomber Eyewear, Bomber Safety Eyewear, Bomber Floating Eyewear. And we're going to get to the safety eyewear here in a bit, but man, they've got all the bases covered. Over 40 styles of frames, and I don't even know how many styles of lenses, but check them out. BomberEyewear.com, on Instagram at Bomber Eyewear. Speaking of over 40, I was doing some research and we are in over 40 countries now. So thank you so much, listeners all around the world. We appreciate you greatly. Moving on with appreciation, how about my man Cole over at the Premix Podcast, sharing his passion for all things desert racing through the lens of a camera, and also up there on the stage, emceeing, announcing whatever you need. Hit him up on Instagram, the at symbol ThePremixPodcast at the Premix Podcast. Slide into his DMs and get him booked for your event or your race or your slot car race, or just hit him up after your desert race and say, hey, if you're out there, you got any pictures of me? And I'll bet you he does. Of course, Kelsey Morale Film. She's been working her butt off making all of having to remaster all of our video. And, we're just grateful for everything she does as far as that and getting it up on the YouTube channel, which you will find us on YouTube at MAddOG, MAddOG Media. And you'll find Kelsey for all your film and still photo needs from pre production to post production, all the way through production on Instagram at Kelsey Morel Film. Of course, Hey Keeks Marketing knocking out our social media templates for us and helping me with trying to get the social media built up, which you will find us the at symbol AFTR underscore podcast on Instagram. And so grateful for Keeks. If you need anything from a website built, website maintained, social media help, all the way up to complete advertising campaigns, yell Hey Keeks, or just find her online, heykeeks.com, on Instagram at Hey Keeks Marketing. So, dude, thankful and appreciative of all those great people, including yourself, my friend.
Oh, thank you. I must I must compliment you. I like your get up today. And if you're not watching the YouTube videos, you're gonna have to catch up on this episode because you're not letting the holiday die, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I absolutely love this red, white, and blue Kicker Power Sports audio shirt. Um, dare I say, I started a trend with the old grinder wrap, and I was really blessed over the 4th of July. Um, in our little community here, the person that is the honorary mayor um, built a whole huge pedestal and like I believe 70-foot flagpole.
Whoa.
And on July 5th, he had the inaugural flag raising ceremony, and the entire community, almost the entire community, was out there, including weekenders. Dude, there was probably 250 people out there at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Damn.
Yeah, Captain Crazy, Mr. Gary, thank you so much. And he had asked me if I would provide the national anthem and background music via the Kicker Power Sports Audio Razor. And of course, I was more than happy to, do it. And man, what a moment. I got to tell you, when that flag was going up, we were playing God Bless America. And as they raised the flag, and then during the national, once it was up, of course, we all saluted the flag and played the national anthem. And man, I had tears in my eyes. It was just such an amazing honor. And it's so cool because at night he's got it all lit up and I can actually see it from my patio.
Oh, hell yeah.
So it's way up there in the air. And, I mean, hell yeah, America, baby.
Enough said. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
right.
Isn't it funny how sometimes like that stuff funny is not the right word, but you know what I'm getting at. But it's like
Yeah.
shoot, I was at an event not too long ago. It might have been like a baseball game or something, but it was like the national anthem started and it was like, whoo, like it just unexpectedly chokes you up. You're like, damn,
Yeah.
dude, like just the fact that I don't know if like it's an emotional thing, but it's just like through everything going on, it's election year, people are already losing their minds. It's like so when you can come together for that minute and a half and support the same thing, it's like, all right, it's a nice, great resetter.
Yep, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And it was just it was really incredible. And where I was going with that was that was the first time I had worn this red, white, and blue shirt in public. And it's even, you'll see it when the video gets done, but
Look at
it's
that.
even, yeah, stars and stripes and you know, the whole 9 yards. So all the way down the sleeve. Um, yeah, it's crazy. You can find that under, I believe it's under gear at kicker.com, and they do still have them in stock.
Oh, I honestly didn't even assume you could buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, they this is a production piece. So
Ah,
unlike some of the pieces we have um are not production pieces. So, you know, blessed hopefully to have started a trend of red, white, and blue with some awesome apparel. And these are sick because they're like a rash guard.
yeah. Are
So
they
they're,
are they like UV protectant?
yes,
Oh, good. Okay.
I believe so anyways. Yeah. So they're very, very comfortable and light. Um, so which was a big factor because it was like 98 degrees at 9:30 in the morning when we raised the flag, and I had no shade. So
Yeah.
everybody, they had a whole bunch of pop-up set up for people to stand under, and you know, but I was out there just cooking. My almost bald head was cooking
Damn.
severely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, luckily your eyes were protected with your bomber floating eyewear.
Yes, they were. Yeah, and I, of course, color matched, and it's funny you said that because I was color matching my mirrored lenses to an outfit last week, and one of my friends was like, "Do you like have multiple pairs that you color match?" And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Yes, I do. If you go to bombereyewear.com and enter code MADDOG20, you'll get a little discount and you can get your color matched pairs." So, yeah, it was pretty cool. So, but yeah, these mirror blue go perfect with the red, white, and blue theme. So,
Yeah. This outfit, standing next to the car, I see the Evil Knievel TLD in the background. It's all
right,
it's all coming together.
there is a theme here. So, but yeah, man, how was your fourth? Our fourth was pretty quiet. We just,
Was it?
yeah, hung out, watched fireworks on the lake from the patio, and that was about it. So, how was yours?
No, my fourth was good. It was unconventional. So my wife was in Texas visiting some family. So I was kind of on dog watch duty here and kind of laying low. But right here in Mission Viejo, the fireworks for the whole city are set off about 200 yards from where I'm sitting right now. And all the years I've lived here, I've never actually been here for the fireworks show.
Oh, sick.
And so I was sitting downstairs getting ready for them to start, and I just feel this thunderous pounding in my chest. And it was like, whoa, bro, like this is what happens every year. So I sat in the backyard and watched all the fireworks that were getting basically blown off in my face. And it was like looking at my dog, I'm like, damn, no wonder when we come home, you're just losing your mind because it's like being in
Right.
battle right here, you know, right here in the beautiful Coral Gardens. But dude, no, it was really cool. It was not a whole lot went on, but what was really good was went to, well, you've been there, Milady's Sports Pub down the
Oh,
street from me.
yes.
They had a benefit for the Marines at Camp Pendleton. So every
Ah,
dollar, they had a buffet style breakfast, and you could, you know, get your adult sodas and all that stuff at 9 a.m. But every dollar went to the benefit Marines in Camp Pendleton. So I took Inglewood Jack over there, and we had some good breakfast and celebrated the holidays. And Miss Chris Milady had all the good American jams blasting on the jukebox. It was just an awesome way to get the holiday started. And yeah, just kind of same thing, just laid low around here. Didn't get in a whole lot of ruckus, but what was crazy was there's a hill right behind me where all the kids light the fireworks off because it's
right.
like one of the highest points in Mission Viejo. Well, about 2 o'clock in the morning, you had all the first responders going off, and it was like, uh-oh, like somebody's roof caught fire from one of these mortars going off. It's kind of like, yeah, it's bound to happen eventually, right? Well,
Right.
4 a.m. it flared back up, and it's like,
Oh
man, this
no.
is really scary stuff.
Yeah.
Well, all that being said, turns out it had nothing to do with fireworks at all, as it was somebody's Tesla charger inside their garage caught theirs and their neighbor's house on fire on 4th of July.
Ooh.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah. Explain that one to your insurance company.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, so it's like, as mad as I wanted to be at the kids for blowing it off in the wilderness, it was like, oh no, this was something somebody wired in the house and, saving the earth, right? So,
Right. Oh man.
jeez.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy. Well, and I wonder, like you guys are having for your area pretty significant heat wave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wondered how I was thinking of that the other day. I was wondering how because out here we don't have a whole bunch of Teslas everywhere,
No.
right?
Thank no.
There's some,
Yeah.
but there's not. It's not like Orange County.
No, I mean, it's to the point, like, I not making a joke. It's like I see 2 or 3 cyber trucks a day,
Yeah,
and I
well,
hardly leave my bubble.
yeah, I've seen one.
Yeah, ever. Yeah.
Yeah, ever. Yes. Yeah, it's crazy. So, man, it's yeah, that's wow. Wow. Caught their house and their neighbor's house on fire.
But yeah, this is the state where they say don't run your AC because we can't handle it, but also get rid of your gas vehicle because we need to get everybody on electric. So
Right. Eventually, if everybody has electric and the chargers all catch fire or the batteries catch fire, then you'll all be walking.
yeah,
Except you. You'll still be driving your Ford FM Ranger.
hell yeah, that truck will live forever if I don't kill it.
Bumping your kicker audio.
Yeah, yeah, man, that truck's so good to me. But
Yeah.
man, I had a point to this, damn it. But yeah, no,
Yes.
it's
Carry on.
but no, it's been like we've had so much rain this year that everything's still super green, which is amazing for July. But now
Yeah.
it's just hot, so it's like, damn, feels like Brazil or something. It's pretty wild over here right now.
Like rainforest stuff.
Yeah, so you get all the bugs with that too. So you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, we have been super hot for well over a week here.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
And yeah, it's I think Monday we hit 122, 123, something like that. And I've been working on this project with the Podfather with Kicker Audio. So I've been working in a shop. Thankfully, the general, Mr. Butts, was able to help me line out to use, but it does not have AC.
So you have shelter but no AC.
Right.
Yeah.
So, proper management of core temperature and also proper management of the giant swamp cooler fan. Like, it's not, I know there's a brand out there called Portacool, but it's not that, but it's similar. But proper management of that to make sure the humidity isn't too bad, right, has been a challenge this week, I'll tell you. And it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's so hot. You look at the weather app and it's past red. It's when it starts getting purple.
Right.
Like, oh, this is the top end of the spectrum for the earth.
Yeah, extreme heat warning, and they just keep extending it. I'm like, quit extending it. Now you're just rubbing salt in the wounds.
Yeah.
No
rest for the wicked.
No, not at all. I gotta say, the there was a event over 4th of July up in Winchester Bay, Oregon, my old stomping grounds, put on by the former promoter of Doomfest. And she did such a great job bringing Doomfest back and growing it. And, I was really wishing I saw Kuskininski was up there, and I was actually really wishing I'd been up there for that. It's a fledgling, brand new event, first year, and it looked like it was pretty good. And while I'm on that, I just wanted to mention that the weather at the Oregon coast, like it was, you know, mid 70s, which is beautiful,
So
right?
nice.
To be at the coast for sure. I don't like it when it's cold and wet. Um, but also on that note, while I'm thinking of it, folks, if you have not become an American Sand Association member, go to americansandassociation.org
Yep.
and become a member. At $25 a year. It's complete 501, and they are fighting battles all over. And a new battle just launched up in the Oregon Dunes. That's aggressive attempt at taking away your public lands and your public right to recreate on those lands. So get over and support the ASA. Our good friend Disco Dave is their executive director, and our other good friend, Mr. Casey Cadario, is the president of the ASA. So um, they are fighting battles everywhere, including you would think American Sand Association. Oh, they're just handling Glamis or Dumont or Pismo, but no, they're fighting battles. Glamis, Dumont, Pismo, um, Oregon, um, even Winchester, even Moab.
Yeah, that's been a big one as the last few years.
Big land grab, especially against side by sides, and they're fighting for freedom for all to use our public lands the way God designed them to be, the way the forefathers signed the Declaration of Independence for.
Don't tread on me, bro.
Right? Telling you. So, yeah, man, it's so it's been a crazy week working on that stuff, and had a little minor setback today. Cost me a little bit of time.
Yeah. Oh, so we're getting into this.
Yeah, I didn't really want
It keeps
to.
poking in the corner of the screen. I'm like, are we going to address this publicly?
Yeah, obviously, if you're listening, you can't see, but the first two fingers on my left hand are currently in splints and wrapped in splints. I had a small issue today that I have never ever experienced before. All my years of building stuff, all these last 8 years of doing audio stuff. Um, I have never had a router violently kick back so hard it jumped out of your hands. And unfortunately, my router is and I'm going to call it out. It's a Ryobi One Plus.
Yep.
It is cordless, and instead of a trigger, it has a on and off switch, and it kicked back and chewed two of my fingers up significantly, and so lost an afternoon of work getting a couple of stitches and patched up. Serious shout out to Parker Medical Center and their emergency staff because they were on it. They were super nice. Physician's assistant, it was quite ironic. My last name is Morrell. His last name was Worrell.
You just flipped the first part.
Yeah. So he was 12.
Yeah, it looked like it.
But he did a great job as far as I can tell. And they were expedient in taking care of me, and very courteous, very nice. So hopefully you never have an emergency when you're down in Parker, but if you do, the staff I dealt with was great. So I've never had, I've had power tools kick, I've had like chainsaws kick, get bound up and kick back, I've had skill saws kick. I've never had anything just kick so violently that it exits your hand.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And then, of course, it's the one tool that, like you said, it's an on-off.
Yeah, of course, right?
Not that it would have completely stopped everything, but yeah, I can only imagine you chasing after this Dremel after the thing's wide open and you're bleeding everywhere. And
oh yeah, it looked like a scene from Carrie.
Yeah.
Dude, it was a mess. Yeah, my shirt was a mess. I knew it was pretty significant sliceage, and that's a new word I just invented. By the sheer volume of red fluid leaking out of my body. So fortunately, I only got the fingers. They were able to lace it up in a few spots, and I'm sure it looks like a football under there, but back at it tomorrow, man. There's eye on the prize. There's work to be done. So,
This better be the best damn sounding trailer of all time after this.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. What's your worst equipment kickback? I've had some gnarly ones.
Man, I've been
a couple that come to your mind for you?
I've been super, super lucky. I had an angle grinder get so close that it cut my t-shirt and then took the hair off my chest. Ooh. And then didn't break skin. And it was like, wow, this should have been so much worse. I think that was probably, you've had a little whatever, but that was the closest one I remember this could have been a disaster where you got to race to the hospital or whatever. But man,
wow.
Yeah, I think, we didn't necessarily follow OSHA laws at one place I used to work at. Could have been the shoe store, one of those places, but yeah, right. Dude, it was, I think that had to be the closest gotcha on something. Yeah. Cause everything else was so not a big deal. I can't even remember. Right. So yeah, that's one that scares me. Cause I was even using a Dremel literally last Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was opening up an axle block and then just barely skipped a little bit, but those are those little reminders. You're yeah, this can go awry so fast,
Well, yeah, and a Dremel spins way faster,
dude.
But the router, it's like a half-inch cutter bit,
yeah,
right, bearing cutter bit. So it was it just bam, I've had a Dremel kick on me. I've had some situations where, let's be real talk. Who runs the guard on their 4-inch grinder with a cutoff wheel?
Honest, I do. I actually do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good on you, because you should.
Yeah. Because I don't use it enough to it's not my daily thing. So it's if I'm using it, it doesn't bother me,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I never have, and thank God for bomber eyewear because I was wearing my bomber safety eyewear out in the shop about 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, and I was working on cutting out some stainless and brand new blade, no specific problem with it. There was no chunks out of it, and it just halfway through the cut, it just exploded.
Like you said, it was brand new too, so you
Yeah,
probably wasn't even on the forethought.
no, and fortunately, I was wearing my bomber safety eyewear, and a big chunk actually um, put a nick in the lens of the glasses. Another small piece hit me in the cheek, and one hit me in the forehead and made little holes. Nothing major, but dude, the one that hit in the glasses was big.
That's so scary.
Yeah,
Now it's great you didn't lose your eye, but it is annoying when you have a perfectly good pair of glasses that get a big scratch. You're like, oh, damn it.
yeah, yeah. Because then when you put them on, especially like me, I have
Oh man.
astigmatism, so put them on, and one eye's always
Yeah,
tracking
you can't not see
directly
it.
to the. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, oh man, yeah. Fortunately, Tommy and the gang at Bomber take good care of me. It was simple as an email. Hey, but I did make a post about it back in the day that saved my bacon. So I was very, very grateful for that. But yeah, I've had a couple situations where it probably wasn't an OSHA approved move that has not gone well. So, but it is what it is. Like, I'll figure it out tomorrow. I'll get a look tomorrow and see, maybe there was a screw in the wood or something in the panel. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that'd be nice to find out for the next panels.
Yeah, well, I'm probably I told the Viking tonight um that I probably oh no, I didn't tell her. I actually my pop called me tonight, the Rev, and I was talking to him, and um I told him what happened, and he was like, that can happen, and
Yeah.
that's coming from someone running, he let me see, he was in his 60s, and he was rebuilding the side of a motorhome and cutting some stuff with he has a 4.5 inch Makita skill saw that's really, really high speed, and it caught on something and kicked back and actually took um, one of his fingers off and part of the other fingertip. And yeah, and it was, my pop, right? Just picks him up and packs it in ice and packs his hand in ice. My mom takes him down to the ER and they sew his fingers back on and he's good to go. So,
God, that's so gnarly. That's so
yeah.
rough.
But
So it must run in the family. But yeah, I don't know how to tell you this, but your piano career might be over. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
yeah, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a little hard to hunt and peck for a few days.
Yeah.
My data inputting's going to be off a bit too, for sure. So,
Quite a bit of hunt and peck, like you said.
right. So, yeah, other than that, man, that's just super exciting. It was definitely not the way I intended to waste my entire afternoon. I intended it to be quite productive, and it wasn't. So, but this project is going to be sick when it gets
Yeah.
done. Um, and you'll be able to see it wherever you see uh, Jim Beaver's Misadventure. And you can actually follow that, I think, on Instagram at Misadventure Life or at JB15. He's a great dude. Love Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
So, it's yeah, just super cool. We, had a good weekend. Yesterday morning, I was able to sit down and spend a little time. It was busy weekend, but BC was out, and I was able to sit down and have coffee with him before I had to head down to Parker, and it was great to just hang out,
That's great.
drink coffee, and BS, and we don't get to do that near enough. So grateful for that. Other than that, dude, we're just looking forward. You know, getting this project wrapped up this week might take me an extra day now. Because I'm going to be working with pinchers instead of fingers on my left hand. So, but it's got to get done. Show must go on. And next week, I am super excited because we are heading for not only After Show's 2-year anniversary, but Gallup, New Mexico for Kicker Arena Cross Summer Series.
Man, I hope the weather's nice there. It feels so hot to be thinking about arena cross, but luckily it's a night sport, and Gallup seems to be like a little bit more moderate than, Havasu at 165 degrees.
Yeah, it's right now, I think they're up in the 90s, but you're still down in like the 50s at night because they're at 5,000 feet or 6,000
I guess I didn't realize
feet.
it was so high.
Yeah, it's pretty high. It's, I think, as high as Albuquerque. Well, now one says 66 and one says 64, 67. So,
But over 6.
still over 6.
Damn.
Higher than Denver.
Yeah. Suck it, John Denver. That's not even
Right?
nothing.
That John Denver's full of shit.
I thought the Rocky Mountains would be rockier than this.
Dude, I don't know if you've been to Eastern Colorado, but there's
No,
no Rocky Mountain highs out
No.
there.
No, it might as well be like Kansas out there.
Yeah, exactly. You would think you'd be Dorothy. It's to be in Eastern Colorado. You're not in
Yeah.
Kansas. Maybe you're in Colorado.
That's two different people, West and East Colorado.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, man. So that's my shot next week, and hopefully, I'll be staying in the patriotic hotel that I love to stay at, and hopefully we'll get an episode in, just for like history. So, yeah. And besides that, what do you got going?
Man, we 2 weekends ago we got second at the SRA night race. That was really good. Had great pit stops and had a good lighting package on the bike. And then we had 2 teams that we're running, and this sounds bad, but I don't know how else to put it. There was one team that we had in contention to do really well. So that's really where the most stress and focus went towards. And then we had the more fun team, which was somebody that was just getting back into riding, somebody who is a moderate rider, and then someone who was their very first race ever. So,
wow.
It was fun to have 2 totally different storylines going on, where it's like you had, we'll call it the A team, where it's like every second counts, and it's like each pit was very like methodical and whatever. And then you had the B fun team where it came in. It was like, take a break, like drink a beer, sit by the fire, whatever you want to do. Like, who cares? Like, we're just hanging out, having a good time. So it was fun to have 2. It wasn't like your Honda experience, It was like I had a business team and a party team, instead of, having to get 2 teams across the finish line at the same time like you. But no, it was good. Great track. Everybody was really happy. The track was a lot faster than it was a round ago. So the bike actually took way more fuel. We had to fuel up twice in 2 hours compared to once in 2 hours at the last race. That's how different the track was at the same piece of property. So
Wow.
that was really, really surprising. It was like even after practice, we were doing the math and it's like, dude, this is really, it's kind of scary how much more fuel it was using. And and it could be different air pressure and different temperature. And there's all sorts of, tire pressure and how the guys are feeling and all that can throw it off too. But it was almost like we went from a one fuel stop strategy, like, oh no, we got to do 2 and we got to do them damn good. So ended up getting second. That was great. So we've got a fourth and a second out of a 3-round series so far. So that's really fun. And then, just this weekend heading back to Glen Helen for the More Freedom Cup. And it's one I would hate to miss. It's all the trucks and buggies from the desert go race on the motocross track. And, I don't know. It's fun, but it's also kind of scary because you got these guys who've been going 100 miles an hour all winter. Now all of a sudden you put them on a tight course with motocross tabletops, and it's like, things get pretty hairy pretty fast. So it's definitely entertaining.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. So for the listeners that don't know, MORE stands for
Mojave Off-Road Enthusiasts.
Awesome. Yeah, well-established, long-time series. Does a lot of desert racing. I know that's one of your preferred go-tos.
Oh, it's just fun and close to home. Yep.
Yeah, and that race, they're also having like a Class 11 challenge or something, aren't they?
Yeah, they have like, I don't know, this number might even be low, but they have like 15 Class 11 cars signed up. So the Class 11s have to race more than anybody else over the weekend. It's like they have to do some Friday night challenge. They have to race twice on Saturday. They have to do a bracket night race on Saturday night, and then they have one more round on Sunday. So the most quote unquote entry level, entry friendly class is the one that's got the most entries, and those guys have to bust their ass all weekend, where if you brought your trophy truck or your Class 1 car, you're racing 2 times the weekend. So go figure. Yep.
And just throw out what a Class 11 is in case someone doesn't know.
Class 11 is pretty, think Herbie with some dirt tires on it, literally. It's a stock Volkswagen Beetle. You can only do so much of the suspension. You can only reinforce it so much. The doors have to work. It's got a 1600 cc single port motor. Other than that, man, as they came off the line in Wolfsburg, Germany, you're going out and racing in some gnarly stuff. So that's the big cojones class for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. And that you answered one of my questions, because I was going to ask about engine mods and stuff like that, but they have to run a 1600 single port. Huh?
Yeah, and I think it's like a 32 pick or a 34 pick carb, so it's not fuely by any means. It's a driver's class. Yeah.
Well, and they have. I mean, it's such a popular class because, they're in essence relatively inexpensive.
Yeah. Now just like any racing, it can get out of hand real fast. But theoretically, yes, that's, especially if you can buy a used car, that's a great way to get in the sport for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, like you said, it's a driver's car. So, or a driver's class. So if you're interested, make sure you have a good kidney belt.
Yeah.
And
a neck brace.
Yeah, and a Hans device for sure, and maybe even a neck nut on top of your Hans device.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Just to cushion those the vibrations, and an ultralight helmet.
And a good chiropractor.
No doubt.
Man. Other than that, yeah, dude, it's summer, so it's nice to go to any races we can get right now. So.
Yeah, and you're on a break from Speedway for a bit, right?
Yeah, it sucks. Not going to be back till like August now, so.
Well, that's only like 3 weeks away now.
But it's been like since June, so I'm getting the hands shaking. Not as bad as yours, but I'm getting
right.
Sorry, that was too soon.
Too soon, bro. It's not shaking right now. I found a comfortable spot to keep it elevated above my heart.
Jeez, dude. Oh, one last thing. You know what sucks is when you go to an ER and there you got to fill out that form. It's like, what are you here for? And you're like, just look at the trauma. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, and you know what? I'll give it to the girl that checked me in. She was super nice.
Good.
She looked up and she goes, "Are you a righty?" And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." And she's like, "Do you mind if I fill the form out for you?" And I'm like, "Not at all."
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Trying to figure out, I mean, I've got this gob of towels
Yeah.
and shirt on my hand, right? And trying to figure out, like, I'm a righty and it's my left hand that's wrapped up. I don't really. And she's like, "Okay, so you've got what I'm guessing is multiple lacerations on your right hand." I'm like, "No, it's my left hand."
Yep.
And she looks up and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's my right side."
Yikes.
So she even had a good sense of humor, but kudos. I mean, she knocked the forms out, and that was like much appreciated, because I didn't really want to think about filling out forms.
No.
And they're like, "Who's your emergency contact?" And
You're
I
like, no, I'm here. No,
yeah, I told her, and she goes, "And I was like, "My wife and whatnot," and she goes, "And what's her phone number?" And I told her phone number, and then I'm like, "Do not call her.
No, yeah.
Please do not call her."
Like, I'll handle this.
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't call her, please.
Damn.
I'll figure it out later. So, yeah, it was pretty funny, but it is what it is, and that's the way it goes sometimes.
You're gnarly,
man.
dude.
So
You're gnarly.
it's hopefully by tomorrow, some of the stinging from the fresh lace up will cut down a bit, so I can actually get productive. And I will probably rewrap and tie the two together, split each one, and then
Buddy
tie them
system.
together. So I've got protection all around it and can't bend it. So, you know, we'll see.
We'll see, indeed. We'll get some rest and take 2 Advil, if you will,
Yep, for sure, man. I will do that. And I think we're about ready to sign out, but not before we thank our great sponsors and partners, Kicker Performance Audio, all your 12-volt car, truck, motorcycle, boat, marine, whatever you can imagine, you can put it in. Find them, kicker.com, on Instagram at Kicker Audio, and on Facebook, Kicker, every other Tuesday night live with their Kicker Unmasked Live TV show on their YouTube channel and on their Facebook. Of course, Bomber Eyewear, Bomber Safety Eyewear, Bomber Floating Eyewear. I was wearing my Bomber Safety Clear that has a nice kind of tint to it, take the glare out. I was wearing those when this happened. For any of those people that said you weren't being safe, I was absolutely being safe. And I had my Bomber Safety Eyewear on. Had it hit me in the face, I'd have been great. It just bounced right off. So find them online, bombereyewear.com, on Instagram at Bomber Eyewear. Of course, the Premix Podcast, and our man Cole sharing his love for all things desert racing. Watch for some cool photos coming up from Not the More Challenge. If you need to book him for an event for your MC or announcer, hit him up, slide into his DMs, on Instagram at the Premix Podcast, the at symbol ThePremixPodcast. Of course, Kelsey Morrell Film. If you need help with anything from still photos to TV commercials, hit her up. Pre-production, production, post-production. She's got you covered. Find her on Instagram at Kelsey Morrell Film. Of course, Hey Keeks Marketing, covering everything from social media management, to advertising campaigns, to website building and management. Yell Hey Keeks, or just find her on the webs, heykeeks.com, or on Instagram at Hey Keeks Marketing. I do want to say a special thank you to all of our listeners, over 40 countries worldwide now. I was just doing some research the other day, and our streaming numbers are just on Spotify. Because for some reason, Apple's really giving me a hard time getting into stats, which I'll probably ask Hey Keeks about because she's an Apple master, as well as yourself at the Premix Podcast. But just on Spotify, our streaming numbers are just through the roof. And I'm so grateful for all of you that can't wait for the next episode, and that have been going back, new listeners that have been going back and listening to, catching up on all the old episodes. Greatly appreciated. With that, Cole, what do you got?
Make sure to rate, review, subscribe on your favorite streaming platform.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
With that, we got to get to work. Mad Dog out.